Okay, I don't have a lot of time to go to the movies because I'm busy writing books for all of you people, but I did marry a movie-obsessed gal. So now I have to make time for the movies, and it's got me feeling a certain kind of way because as I peruse what possibilities are coming this fall, there are several movies that I want to see.
Well, terrific. I do too. We'll discuss right after this short break.
Ready? Set your timer. That's right. Campbell, a little charisma. The doctor's in the house. He understands. He just prescribed charisma, and he can do that because he's a doctor. Ready?
I am.
Welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episodes of the Scott Sigler Slices Fiction Podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture and movies. I am Scott Sigler, sci-fi horror author known far and wide as the future dark overlord.
And I am A.B. Sigler, audiobook narrator and publisher at Empty Set Entertainment. And tonight we're talking about the fall 2025 movie releases, theatrical and streaming, that we're interested in seeing.
A reminder, this is a bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices Fiction. A reminder, this is a bonus episode in the Scott Sigler Slices podcast feed. It's not part of any particular story. You don't have to listen to this episode to know what's going on in our current tale, but we think you will like this peek behind the storyteller curtain because this peek behind the storyteller curtain is us getting into other people's stories.
Absolutely. So let's get into it.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
We perused the movies that are coming out streaming and coming out on in the theaters this fall.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many movies coming out, as
It's
always.
great. I think it's great. Like, it feels like the movie industry is getting back into the spiciness of the sci-fi and the spiciness of the horror and kind of re-embracing, like, people want to go to the movies to completely escape from this world and see a world that is not ours.
Yeah, and I do think, I think that sort of the gestalt of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and giant movies like that will go through all the way through the back end, DVD, streaming, all that stuff. I guess there's not DVDs anymore. But all of that kind of did take us away from little tiny movies. But this year there are a couple that are back that I'm really excited
We got
about.
a mix, right? We got tiny movies,
Yeah.
and we got great big tentpole movies as well.
Yes. So let's get into it. Let's do the first one. The first one is a streaming movie. It actually came out in March of this year theatrically and is now available on streaming. And it's, I believe, called Ash. But those are all capital letters all throughout, so I'm not sure if
This was a spring movie, and we kind of missed it. So we're just going to loop it into our fall 2025
because now it's streaming and
movies.
available.
Would you like me to read it?
Please.
Rhea wakes up on a mysterious planet to discover her crewmates have been slaughtered. When a man arrives to rescue her, an ordeal of psychological and physical terror ensues. Warning, this film contains extended sequences of flashing lights.
I found that interesting and I left that in there because
okay.
it's everywhere. You look up this movie. If you just Google it and you get the little AI thing at the top, it says, warning, extended sequences of flashing lights. If you go to the Rolling Stone review, if you go to Ain't It Cool?
So it must be a bunch
all
then.
of that.
It's crazy,
it's
right?
so weird. I figured I'd put it in there in case that matters to anybody. I don't know. We haven't seen it. I don't know how many flashing lights or how long the flashing lights go on. But I can tell you that I'm excited to see this because of Aaron Paul.
I love Aaron Paul. You know, with the Breaking Bad fame, he hasn't really done a lot to cash in on that fame. With Speed Racer, I think he did, which it wasn't a big splash. I'm not familiar with a lot of his work since then, but it's really cool that he's getting into some of these cool movies.
And I will say one of the things that he does to this day, which I would die for, is if you see Aaron Paul in an airport specifically. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but I know it's in an airport. And you go up and you say, "What's up?" He'll call you a bitch. He'll call
What's
you
up,
a bitch from
bitch?
I love that so much.
Fucking
and he'll
magnificent.
just do it. I think that's so fantastic.
It's really fun because when people get a certain level of fame, thrust upon them through their own hard work and their own talent, of course, it can become onerous to be in all these public places and people come up and they think you are someone you are not. They think you are a character. And this even happens to stand-up comedians who literally are themselves on stage, except that's also a persona. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a motherfucker just wants to go to the airport and go pee and go get a Sprite at the tiny for $17 and not have people go up like, Ed and Paul, fuck you. Like that old Eddie Murphy line. So it's really nice to see when someone can kind of take that in stride, who understands, yes, I am something on screen that is important to this person that they needed to come up and talk to me. I'll just roll with it because it'll only take a second. I think that's indicative of an extremely cool, laid-back person, which he seems to be.
For sure. Yeah.
Yep.
I also like that the female lead here is a Mexican actress who is coming up, I think, a little bit more and more and more. She was part of the, she's a singer as well. She's part of the awards circuit that just ended, which I love for her. And I'm hoping that she was in Baby Driver, which I do believe.
I haven't seen it yet. We got to see that.
Really?
I haven't not seen Baby Driver yet. Baby Driver was also many years ago, so she had to be very young in that. She's probably middle-agey in this. Baby Driver was 10 years ago?
Probably 29 or so.
Okay, very cool.
That's Recluse Mage.
Recluse Mage will figure that out for us. Okay. Yeah. All right. You ready for the next movie?
I am, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have not seen this one yet. I need to see this one because as a musician, first of all, last time we talked about movies, we talked about Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And how much the golfing world absolutely adores the movie Happy Gilmore so much that the top 5 golfers on the planet could not wait to be in Happy Gilmore 2 because it's very fun. What's coming up for every musician in the world knows this inside and out. Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, which is already in theater. We have not seen it yet.
It came out, It came out last week.
Okay.
Can we just talk about this movie poster for a moment?
Yes.
Oh my God. The tube being Stonehenge. Fantastic.
I didn't notice that until you mentioned it.
The End Continues because of the first movie. Oh my God, I'm so happy about
It's so great.
I am definitely going to see this on streaming. But do you want to read the description?
Oh, sure.
It's easier for you to read tonight.
Documentarian Marty DeBurgi follows estranged Spinal Tap bandmates David St. Hubbins, Nigel Tufnell, and Derek Smalls as they search for a drummer and prepare for a reunion concert in New Orleans. Joined by music royalty Paul McCartney and Elton John, Spinal Tap wrestles with their checkered past to put on a show that they hope will solidify their place in the pantheon of rock and roll.
Can I confess something?
Yes.
I was in college and hadn't seen Spinal Tap at all. And no, I think out of college, managing a Blockbuster Video. And I had one of my coworkers, my general manager, someone come in and say, "Hey, can you go get Mike?" And I said, "Yeah, he's in the office. I can call for him. Who should I say is here?" And he said, "Unfortunately for me, Nigel Tufnell." And I absolutely called on the overhead, and I could hear Mike, my manager, in the office in the back of the store go, "Fuck me," and come out. And that was his brother had come back from deployment or something to surprise him. But I had no idea, so I did it with my entire chest. Like, apparently Nigel Tufnell is here to see you, Mike. It was embarrassing. But I have since seen Spinal Tap, and I'm looking forward to this.
I am not sure how many times I've seen Spinal Tap. I'm going to guess it is second in viewing count only to Aliens.
What about Strange Brew?
Strange Brew, I've seen probably, I'm going to guess 12 to 17 times.
What about Eddie Murphy Raw?
Probably 7 or 8 be my guess.
All right.
But Spinal Tap is one of those movies that as a gigging musician in a band, getting home from shows at 3 o'clock in the morning, hanging out with all your buddies, you have no more sweat left to sweat. You've given up all your energy. You are now commencing to the we're drinking beers and missing work phase tomorrow. Spinal Tap inevitably just sort of comes on the TV, whether that be VHS or DVD or streaming. So I'm very excited to watch this movie. It was the first mockumentary, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The very first. Now this is a fun movie. Everybody loves it. But think about this. Spinal Tap I believe, is the first fake documentary, i.e. a mockumentary. And it created this whole subgenre of movies where the fourth wall, you're not really sure where it is. And so it's a very original concept when it first came out. So it's really nice they're going to revisit this.
But I also think that Christopher Guest is part of a handful of those mockumentaries. Best in Show.
Oh, Best in Show was
things
so good.
like that.
Parker Posey.
But for modern day, of course, The Office is that and done well. So yeah, they are truly
the semi-scripted mockumentary,
absolutely,
semi-scripted reality documentary. Okay, we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Next movie coming out the fall that we're pumped for. We've talked about this before because we got the date wrong.
We did. Well, no. We talked about it as things that we were looking forward to and wanted to see. We are actually going to see this on Saturday night. So I brought it up because one of the other movies we talked about, Scott has created, well, I don't know if you created, but you found this deal where we get to go to 3 horror movies for $6.66.
It was 6 tickets, 6 tickets. For $6.66 each.
That's so cute.
So I bought that immediately. And normally when A and I go to a movie, we're budget conscious because I don't want to drop $70 to go see a goddamn movie because I'm fucking old. I don't want to waste time. So we are AMC members. We go on Tuesday for the matinee. The Tuesday drops the price. The matinee drops the price. The AMC member drops the price. We're usually going to see a movie about $7-8 a pop, not counting popcorn and soda water and all that, sugar water and all that other shit. But now we're going on opening night, dog.
Yeah,
we're going to
go
opening
see
night.
Him is the movie that we're talking about. Him is produced by Jordan Peele, not written or directed by Jordan Peele. But
is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of presented by Jordan Peele as a producer. Thank you, Steve Rickyberg in the chat room.
We are going to see a movie, both of us, on opening night for $13.32, which is 666 times 2. I'd use calculator. I'm so sorry. Calculator.
I do have to confess to you guys. Scott manages the movie going because it's an equitable move, right? Like he does. We've talked a little bit about how this house runs. He works every single day of the year, every single moment of every single day. Well, maybe not every single moment, but he works all the time. And so I take care of a lot of the household stuff. However,
this movie, by the way, the movie we're talking about is called Him by Jordan Peele. Somebody in the chat room pointed out we didn't actually say the name.
I just said it 3 times and said that. So
I'm
going to start over.
Sorry, babe. Go ahead.
One of the interesting things about our relationship is that we don't have equality in our house of division of duties because that doesn't make any sense. I can't write. He doesn't cook as much as I cook, things like that. But we do have equity. So we take the things that we're good at. I take all the mental load of cooking. I take all the mental load of grocery shopping because I like to do it anyway. And I'm better, of the two of us, I'm a better cook. He takes the responsibility of taking his girl to the movies and he takes it very seriously. So all of this is him. He found the deal. He found all of that. And I'm super excited because we're excited to see him. And then we'll talk about the one movie I'm excited to see all year that also terrifies me in just a little bit.
And we're going to move on to the next movie right now. Of course, and in a nutshell, we got to read the concept of Him.
Oh, yes,
Hold on one sec. I almost read Him as documentarian Marty DeBurgi. Here we go, Him. Cameron Cade is a rising quarterback who suffers a potentially career-ending injury after being attacked by an unhinged fan. Just when all seems lost, Cam receives a lifeline when his hero, Isaiah White, offers to train him at an isolated compound. However, as the training accelerates, Isaiah's charisma turns into something darker, sending Cam down a disorienting rabbit hole that may cost him more than he ever bargained for.
Absolutely. So I absolutely think that's terrifying, and I'm excited about it. If you guys are here watching this live stream or listening to this podcast, I also want to mention that Scott wrote a short story called Number One with a Bullet.
Yes.
That is about a football recruit, who goes
Is
sort
that
of
in,
off the
is that
rails.
in Blood is Red, babe?
It's either Blood is Red or Fire is Orange. I'm not sure.
I think it's in our a collection of mine called Blood is Red. It is called Number One with a Bullet. If you have not read this story and you like my work or you like football or both, you need to go get it because it deals with a shadowy operation called NFL Security. NFL Security's job is primarily to research the draft candidates to make sure that these guys are stable, intelligent, reliable, hardworking, and do not have some secret skeleton in the closet that is going to blow a multi-million-dollar pick and screw a multi-million-dollar contract and set a franchise back 5 to 7 years. It is a very important job in a multi-billion-dollar industry. And in Number One with a Bullet, as in the number one draft pick, it goes horribly wrong. I'm also going to see him because I've been working on a story in my head for a long time. I just haven't got to it yet, dealing with nanotechnology and the injuries that end the careers of these multi-million-dollar NFL players. And I'm not going to get into it too much, but I really hope the concept of him is not the same concept that I have because I would love to write this story.
I am looking forward to this as a person who now is absolutely a football fan. But I do think that this movie, just like the Galactic Football League that Scott writes, is accessible to everyone. It's not just a football movie from what I've read. Robert, so lovely to see you. I hope you and Christine are well.
Knowing Jordan Peele's pop culture savvy, this is a movie you can go, I'm going to say right now, without even seeing it, you don't need to know a fucking thing about football.
Agreed.
You don't even need to like sports. You're going to be able to go see him, be completely entertained by a complete story, the beginning, a middle, and an end, and it is going to be great. You ready for the next one?
No, we have to take a quick break. If you have a minute, please listen to any ads that pop up. There's only one or two, and it really, really helps the cast. We'll be back right after this.
Chris Grawl, while we're on the break, Chris Grawl says nanotech/passenger. Passenger is one aspect of nanotechnology that is absolutely going to happen. Sorry to break it to you all. It's absolutely going to happen.
Before you tap back in, also Sean says, I have the same division of labor that I just discussed, but I live alone, so some shit just doesn't get done on a regular basis.
That
also,
works.
Here, we don't get everything.
That is, as we get older and the news starts to really hammer home and where we are seeing things go in the world starts to hammer home, a lot of shit seems relatively pointless. So there's things we're just fucking we don't have the motivation to get shit done anymore. So
we also watched our niece dog this week who is paralyzed on her back half. So that really brings into perspective the little things. She's so happy to just hang out with you. And we feel every time, all day, every day that we watch her, happy to watch her, but also like, oof, it's rough.
It's rough. It's
so
rough.
Those things kind of circle, in small in our universe.
In the chat room, Steve Bloomfield says, my guess is that him will be about the abusive players are treating them like chattel. I think that'll be about 20%. That's one of those things that, of course, a Jordan Peele joint is going to reference and talk about. But I think I'm gathering him's a whole lot more fucked up than that. I think there's a lot of shit where you're going to leave scratching your head going like, the fuck did I just see? That's my impression from what I have seen so far. You ready to get back into it, Pumpkin?
Yeah, let's snap back in.
Oh, snap back in? Hold on here. Okay, hold on. Let me get my snap back in text. We should, for reference, let's move the snap back in to this, make this a whole separate script.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Deep Cuts.
On this episode, we're talking about the fall movies we're excited to see.
The next one we're going to talk about is, first of all, got to go to main. I have trouble pronouncing this word.
I had to do it, you guys.
And this particular word, only because Rob Otto told me how to pronounce this word without thinking about it, the word is anemone. And if you hear the way I say it, I could not pronounce this motherfucking asshole dumb shit English word. What?
Anemone?
So Rob heard me struggling with the word anemone in Slay, because there are anemones in Slay season 3, and Rob's like, dude, just sing the song. I'm like, what are you telling me? He's like, go anemone, do, 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 in your head. And since then, I've been able to nail this word. However, every time A says the word anemone, I may accidentally pop out with that particular line.
Anemone comes out on October 3rd. October 3rd is our sweet spot for movies this year. Anemone is the first one. Writer-director Ronan Day Lewis makes his feature debut with this familial tale about a pious man, played by Sean Bean.
Love Sean Bean.
Trekking deep into the woods to find his brother, a former British soldier who abandoned his wife and child years ago. This recluse suffers from PTSD and prefers solitude to society. Still, his sibling's mission is to bring him back into the fold and hopefully heal all wounds. And Sean Bean's brother is played by the writer-director's father, who is Daniel Day-Lewis.
And didn't he come? Good.
I was going to say, who has not acted, has not had any acting role at all come out in the last 8 years. So I kind of love that he's coming back in this very, this is his sweet spot, right? This very gritty, very visceral kind of a role. And I love that he's doing it for his kid.
And didn't he come out of retirement? Mm-hmm. He was retired. If you're Daniel Day-Lewis, there's nothing left to do but, of course, continue your craft and collect paychecks. Mm-hmm. There's no accomplishment that he hasn't done in the world of acting except getting to be in his movie.
Absolutely.
Where his son directs.
Yeah. And
which had to help his son get this movie made. Because if Daniel Day-Lewis says, I am attached to this movie, he doesn't talk like that, but I feel like he does. I am attached to this movie, that movie's going to fucking get made, end of story.
Yeah. I also think that this is a stunning movie poster. It's absolutely unreal.
What is stunning about this movie poster to you, babe?
It's artificial. If you look around the edges, this is a photograph that has been doctored. So I feel like with what we know about this story, which is not very much, but we know that he's a tortured man. I feel like just this big close-up on him, of course, he's such a dramatic face and he has provided so much character in my life anyway, that seeing this and seeing him staring right at you, I think this is a very powerful, powerful, powerful movie poster. And I would love to see this 26 by 30, 36 by 24 at the movie theater. I don't think I'm gonna, but I love it.
And speaking of deep cuts, which this show is called, a very deep cut from the from the chat room, Stephen Bloomfield says, I guess Daniel Day-Lewis's foot finally healed. It's terrible. That's a terrible. I want to disown you, but I have to leave it in there because that's not bad. That's actually not bad.
All right. So we are going to move on from to our next.
What are we moving on from?
The movie Anemone. Anemone. No, my favorite part is I can say anemone. He can only say
anemone.
He has to say it in rhythm. It's so great.
So when I do sleigh now, I have to say anemone. Like it's not
anemone.
Just I can't say the word. It has to be anemone. I have to dip my head because I have to then trim off the extra. So our next movie is.
I'm giving you guys a hint to listen the next time the anemones come up in sleigh to see if there's a pregnant pause after the word.
Usually is.
So the next movie on our list is
the
a movie
one A and I cannot wait for because we are huge fans of dogs
and horror.
And I honestly am not entirely sold I'm going to see this because I think it's going to scare the living fuck out of me.
Why don't you read this first part, which is the description of the movie?
A man moves into a new home that has supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities start to threaten him, his brave dog comes to the rescue.
So I want to talk a little bit about this movie. If you guys are horror fans, which I assume you are, if you're listening to us, if you're movie fans, if you're dog people, or any or all of the above, Good Boy is a movie that premiered at South by Southwest and was purchased by Amazon and is coming out on October 3rd, where it's a horror movie from the point of view of the dog. The dog's name is Indy. Every review I read said he is a compelling actor. I also want to give you a little bit of background because I would love for people to see this movie because it was such a labor of love. The film Good Boy was created as a passion project by a married couple, Ben Leonberg and Carrie Fisher.
Not the Carrie Fisher, yeah.
who filmed it over 3 years using their own dog, Indy, as the star. They lived in the house where they shot, filmed for over 400 days, and adapted filmmaking techniques to work around the limitations of working with a non-actor animal and capturing authentic moments. The movie, which features a dog's eye view perspective on a supernatural threat, was independently produced and features a distinctive visual style with the camera often at Indy's eye level. I also know a handful of other things. I want this movie to succeed so badly because I just love the entire origin story. Ben Leonberg, who is one of the directors, is a professor at a university in Minnesota. He's a film studies professor. He that was his career, all of that, growing up into this moment, and then he just decided to do it. He figured out that he could film his dog for a maximum of 3 hours a day.
Okay.
And
then the dog lost focus?
The dog would start to lose focus, repeating the same tasks again. But
Oh
also
my
it took
gosh.
400 days to film because they had, in 3 years, because they had to take time off to train the dog to do the thing the dog needed to do in the scene and have the right reaction and have the right sort of eyes and snoot and stuff. So I think this is, oh my goodness, what a labor of love. I live in a creative house as a creative adjacent person. It looks very much like Ben and Carrie are both creative people in their house, but I often kind of orbit around Scott, who, when he is figuring a big set piece of his story out or something like that, like literally like Johnny Bench, like, what can I do? Do you need do you need a drink? Do you need food? What do you need? What do you need? Because you can sort of see it kind of fomenting when he's so close to getting
very close, yeah,
like getting it unlocked or whatever. I can only imagine all three of them, no kids, nobody else in the house, just the two humans and the dog for 400 days making this movie.
It's a lot of days.
I can't wait. I will tell you this also. There is an official trailer out. I haven't even watched it. I'm so scared. Psyched to see this movie until I was prepping for this podcast and I watched the trailer and now I'm terrified and I'm not sure I want to see the movie.
There's something about the concept that, as people who think domesticated dogs are one of the greatest inventions of humankind. The written word, the wheel, domesticated dogs. In my opinion, that's fucking it. Of course, medicine's important, but that's related to the written word. Dogs are this incredible safeguard, this bastion of solace for so many people, and cats too. You know, in domesticated animals, it's this concept of, as a species, as a sentient species, we have somehow modified an entirely different predator, a very efficient, highly intelligent pack predator, to be something that provides us with stress relief, with love, with comfort, with structure, with support, with regularity. And to me, dogs are sacrosanct. The whole concept, there are no bad dogs, there are only bad dog owners, is 99.9% true. And almost any dog that you spend enough time with and are patient enough with is going to bring you benefits to your life that are beyond measurement. To take that compact, to take that 40,000 year co-development and spin it into a horror movie. Like, Cujo's one thing. I saw Cujo one time. I'll never see it again. Great book, great movie. Read it once, saw it once. This is different. This is the dog trying to protect the owner from some supernatural thing. And I just got a feeling it's going to be super fucking, if it's done well, it's going to disturb me a whole lot.
In the chat room, my brother, Jude, hello, I love you, says, one of my favorite quotes is, I strive to be half as good a human as my dog thinks I am. I will say, Jude and his awesome wife, Lauren, help run a dog rescue called Rescuers Without Borders. And I think you do. I think that you are at least twice as good as ranger thinks you are, because the absolute sun sets and rises on you with that dog.
So to sum this up, this is a incredible concept. The execution, 400-day shoot, figuring out how long you can have the dog pay attention, training the dog to do these things, camera angles, lighting. We are, by and large, Hollywood is trained for camera angles and lighting on a Caucasian face. End of story. That is how it is fucking done, how it's been done forever. For any other non-Caucasian human, there are, like, you kind of have to be like, okay, wait a minute, we got to rethink this because we only have these particular techniques. This is a different, we're shooting a whole movie from a different species point of view. This could be as good as Avatar should have been with an actual sentient alien species being the focal point and not giant blue Smurfs. So I'm super pumped for this, and I hope it's not like the Babadook, which I'll never fucking watch again. I'll never watch that fucking movie. Get terrified.
Good Boy, theatrically, Good Boy releases in theaters on October 3rd and should be available for streaming in the fall.
Moving on to the next movie, ladies and gentlemen. I will not lie. I am a fan of Dwayne Johnson. I'm a fan of The Rock. I've been a fan of The Rock since he first came out with this fucking belly pack and the gold chain and asked the interviewer, like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? He is a luminous rock star in multiple categories throughout most of my adult life. I was a huge WWF fan when we became the WWE. So I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson. I think he's a good guy, does a lot of good things. This is his Oscar effort, right?
Is it?
I think so. I think now Dwayne has done everything that can be done. He's done big TV series. He's done major movies. He's part of the biggest movie franchise of all time, The Fast and the Furious. It's made more money than anything else. And he's like, you know what? People don't understand how serious I am about the craft. So I'm going to do this movie and put the whole Hollywood Oscar effort behind me and really go for it and try and establish that I'm not just a gigantic dude in a pretty face and athlete. I'm a fucking great actor.
So the movie that Scott is talking about that Dwayne Johnson stars in and had a big role in getting made is called The Smashing Machine. And it is the unforgettable true story of UFC legend Mark Carr. And it comes out on October 3rd.
This is about MMA fighter Mark Carr, which reaches the peak of his career but faces personal hardships. The film, Indie Studio A24, is written and directed by Uncut Gems co-director Benny Safdie and is based on John Hyam's 2002 HBO documentary about the fighter, which was also called The Smashing Machine. So Mark Carr was in the early aughts when the UFC first started to come about. And early on, it was a great concept. It was like we have ninjas, we have taekwondo, we have karate, we have boxers, we have wrestlers. We have all these different martial art forms that everybody thinks their martial art form is the best. Let's get these crazy bitches in a fucking ring and fucking have them go at it, and we'll find out. And what we found out was Brazilian jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu in general, at that point, was the dominant form.
This movie came about because The Rock had an encounter with Benny Safdie, I think is how you say the director's name, who had seen the documentary, The Smashing Machine, and had to Dwayne Johnson, a very interesting take on that. And also in the chat room, Steve Riggeberg says the hair, the makeup, it definitely does not look like The Rock. I think that's intentional. There's a lot of discussion. If you look up this movie online, there's quite a lot of discussion about the prosthetics that he wears. I don't know a ton about this particular wrestler, Mark Carr, but in preparing for this podcast, I will say, because it's apparently important, that this Mark Carr is still alive today and is promoting this movie with The Rock.
Very
and has
good.
been very instrumental in that. I don't know why that came up 1,000 times because I don't know a ton about him, but my guess is that whatever struggles he went through, that he's alive is a good thing and a surprising thing.
It definitely smells like Raging Bull. It
Yeah.
definitely smells like a real life Rocky.
Agreed.
I can't wait to see this. It's going to be great. I'm not scared of this movie the way I'm scared of
Fair enough.
fucking Good Boy. Now we're moving into some super fun shit. Ready? Here we
Yeah.
go. Number one, Predator Badlands. Talk about a franchise that is desperate for, well, not completely desperate. Prey rocked and rolled. Prey was a good movie. Everybody loved it. But now you got to follow up a franchise that has gone through a huge dip and has come back up and come out with a very successful movie. Predator Badlands is a TV series, is it not?
I think it's only in cinemas in November.
Oh my gosh. Here's the first hunt, last chance.
I love that.
Cast out from its clan, an alien hunter and an unlikely ally embark on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. It's exactly this is what Predator's supposed to fucking be. It's not supposed to be dudes in suits hunting predators. It's not supposed to be fucking super predators hunting smaller predators.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood got carried away with a very fucking simple concept. The simple concept is this is a race with superior technology to us that wants to hunt sentient creatures and very dangerous predators so they can cut their fucking head off and put them on a fucking wall just like we do. It's really simple in concept. And this seems to be bringing it back to the basic concept where we are the prey.
Yeah, so this comes out on November 7th in the United States, in North America anyway, probably globally these days anymore. I will say I have been to the Badlands a handful of times, if we're talking about the American Badlands and the plains. They don't look anything like the movie poster, but I assume that that's an unimportant
Could be a different kind of Badlands, maybe.
For sure. I mean, it's going to be a bad land if there's a predator there, for sure.
Well, any land you are in with a predator is a bad land, which I think is exactly what you just said. But I said it in a different way.
You said it in the movie voice.
All right, we're about to finish up, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Bloomfield says Into the Badlands was the TV series. Very good. Oh, okay. So now Into the Badlands was a TV series, not the Predator TV series. The Predator show is Badlands. It's a movie. We're going to be there. We're going to see it. But let's move on to something very near and dear important to me, because this is an adaptation from one of the great writers of the 20th and 21st centuries, Running Man, a Stephen King novel. That is starring, who's this dude again?
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
It's very important to me too, but for different reasons. Most of them are Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell is the flavor of the fucking month. He is
I'm good with this.
Apparently makes the relatively hetero girls very excited to see his face.
Also the bi girls.
Also, like, if you have any interest in penises, apparently, you like the Glenn Powell.
I think for me what it is he's often funny. And he looks like that. And he's ferocious and whatever. This
is more of my face blindness. I don't, but it doesn't matter. He is the super of the day, and he's getting to remake. Now it's where it gets complicated. Listen to me. Here we go. No, bear with me. Listen to me. This isn't a remake of the absolutely classic Arnold Schwarzenegger 1987, The Running Man, because that movie was an adaptation of Richard Bachman's, hold on, I got the number here, 1985 novel, 1982 novel, The Running Man. But what happened was Richard Bachman, who nobody had ever fucking heard of and didn't sell dick, was actually Stephen King. Mm-hmm. And in 1985, Stephen King released the Bachman books, 4 novels, including The Long Walk, which is a current movie in theaters right now adaptation, under the Stephen King name. Like, hey, I'm Stephen King, I wrote Richard Bachman. Nobody bought Richard Bachman, but now you're going to buy Stephen King because he was a cultural fucking phenomenon at the time. So the Bachman books came out in 1985. And in 1987, Schwarzenegger's flick, The Running Man, came out. Now, if you don't know how Hollywood and books and adaptations work, 2 years from the time the book comes out to the movie comes out is extremely aggressive and is reserved only for massive fucking successes, because a movie takes about a year to 18 months to get greenlit, actually get made, and to get 2 years to get in theaters. So they started, the second people understood The Running Man was a Stephen King novel, Hollywood's like, let's go into it and let's get the biggest movie star in the history of mankind at that time. which was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
Let's get Arnold to be in this fucking amazing action adventure movie. And he did a great job. But now it's being remade. Is this a remake or is this another adaptation of the original source material?
I don't know the answer to this. You may, but I want to say an interesting thing. The book itself, the Bachman book, was about the year 2025. The
that's right.
Schwarzenegger
Okay.
movie, for reasons I don't know, changed that year to 2019. So it's interesting to me. I wonder where we end up with this new Running Man coming out on November 7th, if it is modern day or if it is future set, because will it be the same amount of time from 1982 to 2019, or will it be longer?
They've got. That's a good question. My initial reaction was they're going to project this to say 2052. That's my guess. The number they're going to pick for this movie, because that gives you 2 to 3 full decades that we have as humans have difficulty conceiving. The far future is 30 years from now. But we don't know. It may be modern day. They could easily do some. I know nothing about this movie. I will say, though, that the cast includes Glenn Powell, William H. Macy, Lee Pace, Amelia Jones, Michael Cera, Daniel Ezra, Jamie Lawson, Colin Domingo, and final credit, Josh Brolin, which means
so excited about
he's going to pop in there. It is directed by Edgar Wright, who directed Ant-Man, the absolute fucking horror comedy classic Shaun of the Dead, in the pantheon of the greatest horror comedies of all time, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is a great movie. It kind of whiffed with audiences, but if you watch Scott Pilgrim, it's fantastic. So in this movie, a game show called The Running Man pits a single runner against a team of murderous hunters whose job is to track him down and kill him. And if the runner can stay alive for 30 days, he wins a grand prize of $1 billion. Honey?
$1 billion.
$1 billion. Do you know, I'm assuming you're adjusting for inflation, what was the prize money for the 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
I have no idea, but I'm going to guess $25,000.
Also $1 billion.
Oh, wow, that was even more money back
then.
That
was way more money back then. So King also did The Long Walk, a Richard Bachman book in 1979. Another story that focuses on a nation and the entire world tuning in to watch people die on television. Now, you would think that The Running Man is the original death on TV flick. Hunger Games, Battle Royale, the Squid Games, all drafted on its success. But I posit, or I was going to posit, that the original death on TV movie was Death Race 2000, the Michael Carradine movie, which was released in 1975, almost a decade before Stephen King's The Running Man hit the shelves, and 12 years before before Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
Well, and this is very much a Most Dangerous Game kind of story. So that's decades and decades and decades and decades before.
Interesting that you bring up that point. While The Most Dangerous Game was a private hunting reserve where rich people got to hunt some dude and he flipped the script on them fucking bitches. It goes back much farther than this. I did a lot of research on this, as much as 17 minutes and 32 seconds of research. And what I found was the original murdering bitches on television for the entertainment of others might be a movie called The 10th Victim. 1965, a decade before Death Race 2000. This Italian-French film is a direct precursor to the televised death genre. It is set in a futuristic society where major conflicts are resolved through, quote, the big hunt, end quote. A televised game where participants are designated hunter and victim, earning fame and fortune if they survive. So what do you think about that? You just got some cinematic fucking history. Go find 1965's
I don't know that.
The 10th Victim.
We might not be able to see The 10th Victim.
If you are industrious If you apply yourself, young man, young woman, you can find this movie and you should watch it because you need to know that the Hunger Games and Battle Royale and the Squid Game are all derivative of the Running Man, which is derivative of the Long Walk, which is derivative of the 10th Victim.
Good to know.
Yeah, pretty good.
That is it for our list of movies that we are looking forward to before Christmas. There are a whole bunch of movies that come out on Christmas or the week of Christmas. We chose not to look into those or talk to you about those so that hopefully we come back in a month or two and do it again and talk about what we're looking forward to in the future.
I think we should do the Christmas 2025 movies and we should wear Christmassy hats.
I'm in.
Okay, let's do it.
I have funky glasses too.
We have many.
Christmas
So
glasses.
that is it for this episode of Deep Cuts.
Next week, we'll chat about aliens.
Stop, go back. Next episode. Remember this podcast.
Next episode, we'll be talking about Aliens Earth. And I don't know what to say because we have only seen 2 episodes, but we're going to finish the rest before next week.
We're going to mainline that shit. And if you have ideas about things you would like to hear us talk about on Deep Cuts, email info@emptyset.com. And you know what? You all smell an awful lot like flowers, but flowers that are being weed whacked on television for your goddamn entertainment because you want to watch death sport. You know you want it. Goodbye.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Goodbye.
Hold on.
All righty.
Good job.
Did you turn off? Oh, no, you didn't turn off the streaming because you guys wouldn't
No,
be here.
we're going to hang out with everybody. So,
Jenna Leah maybe wears fez.
you know what? That's not a Christmas fez, but it's a big enough hat that we can put some tinsel on that shit, some garlands on it, some ivy. What other Christmas shit?
Holly.
I can put some
Poinsettias.
Poinsettias. All right, everybody. Let's see how we did today. We still got, oh my God, we got a huge crowd. You guys are great. Thank you so much. This is very helpful for me. It's been a distractible day, but it's great. And Recluse Mage says, bummed I missed half of tonight. Did you cover Tron?
We did not.
I got to be honest, man. I'm going to go back to Maine. I didn't cover Tron because I don't want to shed on anybody else's creativity. But as a sci-fi consumer who saw the original Tron in theaters and that ridiculous ass remake, Tron Ares looks dumber than shit. I hope I am wrong. I watched the trailers and I'm like, this is insipid, boring garbage. And the biggest problem I have, both the remake of Tron, which was not a good movie in my opinion, and this one, how do you fuck up light cycles? The point of light cycles is they are going very fast and can make right angle turns. That's why they were so goddamn cool in the original movie. It is a moving vehicle that can make a 90-degree turn and maintain all its momentum and make more 90-degree turns. And both the remake and from the trailers and what I've seen, these are just goddamn motorcycles with fucking glow lights on them. I am beside myself trying to understand, why would you remake this original creative thing and then change probably the biggest factor about it? Because when Tron came out, the concept of this is a digital world, it was revolutionary, forward-thinking, and way ahead of its time. 1987, I think Tron was, or 86. The concept, there's a whole digital world of things existing pre-internet was stunning and visionary. It was really ahead of its time. And Bridges was fucking solid in it. It was a fun movie, very forward thinking. The remake did absolutely nothing to advance it. And this current level of remake, I'm like, oh, okay, so there's digital weapons from the nether future, and we're in very much danger. And if we don't stop the digital weapons, all the humans are going to die. And also the light cycles make gradual curves like everything else.
And I know that's really frustrating. And I absolutely agree as me. But I do have to mention, and I get flack a lot for mentioning this, but somebody who wasn't alive during the first Tron or movie-going during the second Tron doesn't necessarily need that to have a good movie. Now, Is it going to be a good movie? I don't think so. Me, from having read kind of the pre-release reviews and hot takes and whatever, I don't think it's going to get where it needs to go. But me personally, I don't think that it has to be what the original was now that we have an internet. Now that we have an actual internet and we know what that looks like ourselves, I don't care if it corners on rails. I just fucking don't. But I want a good story about the life of the internet now that we know what the internet looks like. And we're absolutely not getting that. We are absolutely not getting that. So
I totally hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a delightful movie. But right now, it has that odor. It has that smell of there was a lot of fucking hands on this script.
for sure.
A lot of hands in mid-production. And I like Jared Leto. I do. I think he's a great songwriter. I think he's a solid actor. He covers a lot of bases. And I want to see him flourish and succeed. But from the trailers alone, yeah, I'm not seeing this in theaters.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to stream it unless a lot of you guys are like, dude, you were wrong about Tron. Go see fucking Tron. It's straight baller.
Right. We've done a handful of those. I do want to mention Pedro Rodriguez, in the YouTube chat room said South Park Tron was better remake than Tron.
Pedro, I saw that. I don't think I saw the South Park Tron, but I think I gotta get fucking drunk and high and see that shit. South Park is amazing. So good. And I was so disappointed in the Tron remake. I appreciate they brought Bridges back, but all of it was like, this is so formula predictive, and it has literally nothing to do with the concept of like, you are brought into a digital death sport world, and if you don't win the video game, you get de-rezzed and you cease to exist. And from a human being going into this world, human being playing video games, now is in the video game and will die if they don't win the video game, it was fucking amazing. What a brilliant concept, stressful, dramatic.
Oh, I completely agree with you about that. I'm just saying that no longer serves in 2025. We are not amazed by video games. We are not amazed by the internet. We are absolutely not amazed by making real connections over digital space. We're doing it right the fuck now. So if Tron comes back, it has to come back. But you said a very interesting thing, which is like, this had so many hands in the pie. I think this is part of the problem, right? Tron, there is a 50-year-old executive somewhere in Hollywood who was literally leaning on everyone's last nerve to get this movie made because that person, that 50-year-old Hollywood exec, fucking loved it in the 80s. And he's like, yeah, this is going to be great. This changed my entire life, and it's going to change everybody else's entire life. And guess what it's not going to fucking do? Change anybody's life, because it's rehashed bullshit and you can't recreate it because the internet now exists.
And to be fair, where they're trying to go with Tron, and I've only seen the trailers, they're trying to go with the whole digital life, artificial intelligence, the synthetic programmed organism coming into being and having agency and wanting to survive, succeed, and reproduce. It is a new species that wants to not be eliminated by the old species that is an evolutionarily inferior product. I see what they're trying to do with this. And again, I hope I'm wrong. If that's where they're going, it's a super cool concept of we are the fabricated thing that is better than the thing that fabricated us, and we are not going to go quietly into that good night. If they really lean into that, that'll be super fucking cool, and I will eat crow, and I will admit it on screen, but it doesn't look like it. It just doesn't feel interesting.
I would happily be wrong. I just don't think I am. I do want to mention that Jenna Leah in the YouTube chat room said that Dallas Buyers Club was the best Jared Leto movie, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think everyone on earth should see that movie. Everyone on earth. It's fucking hard, and it's fucking fantastic.
And dude, listen to his fucking music. If you want fucking next level arena rock, is it 30 Seconds to Mars? Is that what it is?
30 Seconds.
30 Seconds to Mars is just some fucking bangers. That dude is fucking banger central. So I think that's about it for us tonight. We are going to try and watch as many of these movies as we can. I think we're going to do a recap episode later on where we come back and talk about it. Hopefully I eat an enormous amount of crow about Tron, I'm still not sure I can watch Good Boy, dude. I'm I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable.
I really want to see Good Boy, and I watched as I mentioned, I watched the trailer, and now I'm not sure I can see Good Boy because he just looks so earnest and such a good boy. And one of the reviews, I think it was the Rolling Stone review, said one of the most mesmerizing actors of his generation. And they're talking about Indy, the dog.
Oh my God. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Recluse Mage says, what if the dog doesn't make it Good Boy? I'll tell you right now, we're going to end with this. If Indy doesn't make it in Good Boy, all you bitches start pooling your money to bail me out because I'm going to murder every human involved with Indy fucking dying a Good Boy. This is not allowed. This is not, I can't.
Here's what's interesting. I, in my heart of hearts, think they wouldn't spend 3 years filming a movie with the dog as the central character, name it Good Boy, and have the dog die. That's in my heart of hearts, I believe that's true. What's interesting to me is I can't tell if he's still a good boy if he lets his owner die, which is the plot of the movie, right? It's this guy, Todd, who moves to this house with a supernatural threat that his dog sees before he sees. So it is very possible that the human dies. And just like every other movie where the human dies but the dog doesn't, I don't have a problem with this, I don't think. I just don't.
That's the sad thing. I watch horror movies all the time. If people die, I don't care. I want the drama. I want to feel bad for them. But this is why you will never see a canine die in a Scott Sigler novel. Not ever, not one time. It's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
I do love that you say that's never going to happen, and also dead is dead. And those are true for Scott. And I feel like that might be the reason that I read more of your books back in the day is because I knew after Ancestor, because you said it on the podcast that the dog would never die in your stories.
Brian in the chat room says, well, shit, I haven't listened to Good Boys. Good Boys is also a novel by author Jeremy Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of mine, great entrepreneur, hardworking dude, takes care of his fucking audience. That is not the same as Good Boys, the movie.
Good Boy, the movie.
Good Boy? Good Boy, the movie. I have not listened to Jeremy Robinson's Good Boys yet. I hope to get to that soon, but they're two completely different properties.
And I will also say, if you are Googling, you'll need to Google Good Boy 2025 or Good Boy Indie movie to get to this trailer, because there is also a Korean, very impressive Korean crime drama called Good Boy. It is rough to watch, different movie. I think probably the dog and everyone else dies in that movie, is my guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to go do some post work so I can get these episodes up and ready to go. And then I'm going to go shoot bitches in the face in Fortnite. And that is all I'm doing tonight. You are all fantastic. You all smell an awful lot like flowers. You wish you smelled like a good boy, but you probably don't. That is it for us for tonight. We'll be back next week, and A and I are going to fucking mainline Aliens Earth. We've actually got through episode 3. Mm-hmm. It is spectacular. I'm probably going to do a blog post on where I think it's going after only episode 3. Super, super cool shit in that. I don't know if I'm right, but we'll see how it goes.
And thank you guys for just staying with us with this pivot, because part of the reason that we couldn't talk about Alien Earth tonight is I haven't been able to watch the TV in 4 days, so we couldn't catch up over the weekend.
Has been The Walking Dead for the last 3.5 days, you guys. So, all right.
But
you guys rock? But tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. You guys are great. Enjoy your night. Please come hang with us next week. We'd love to hang with you. That is it for us.
Love you guys.
Goodbye. Go get